boys and girls? Skedackle Richard here, back in the cut. I know it's been a minute since I came here, chopped it up with you guys, and talked about something of value. Rather than me just somewhat kind of rambling on. I apologize for the inconsistency. I've just been, working, grinding, and part of me almost feels like I have nothing to say because I've just been focused so much on profits and trying to stack money and learn certain skills to the point where I haven't even had much time to consume valuable knowledge or information. Therefore I can't re-articulate it with my own life experience through my own filter and make it something of something relatable for you guys. So that's why I haven't been uploading that much. I apologize, but we back, and there's a lot of stuff that I've learned, but with a few short-term notice I've been able to take it all, kind of encapsulate it into one little piece of knowledge for you guys. And I guess I'll just kind of start off by this concept that I derived from a little bit of focus that I've lost, and it's called achievement teasing. I mean, especially as a young man like me, or a young man like you, I'm sure you can relate to this. I mean, you have a mission in life, you have something you want to accomplish, and there's just so much that you want to get done in a short period of time, or maybe your time horizon is longer, you're mature enough to understand that shit takes time, but even then, you want to get things done, you want to make sure you're always productive, so you have the reinforcement in your head that you're on the right path, right? And maintaining that focus is very, very hard, especially when you get a glimpse of especially if you get a glimpse of what you're working towards. For example, you're grinding so hard, and I'll tell you guys a story, man. You're grinding so hard, you see a beautiful face, you see a girl that you fuck with heavily, you chop it up with her, you flirt with her, energy is being reciprocated, you like her, you take her out a couple times, you do your thing, and you start to imagine a future. You start to imagine you going to work for her, being able to provide for her. You turn into a little bit of a lover boy, so to speak, especially if she's displaying certain qualities that a wife would display. You just get caught slipping. You don't want to get caught slipping by a beautiful face, okay? Because most times, most women are necessarily going to put on a mask, especially to attract somebody who they see has qualities that they like as well. And I don't mean to flex or make myself boast, but from majority of guys, especially my age or even a couple years older, they're not going to be talking the way that I talk. They're not going to have foresights of the future. They're not going to have certain foresights that I have. And, they're not going to have the maturity and the vocabulary that I have either. So that's going to be very attractive to a lot of women. And once that does come around, they're going to be putting on their best face, right? Especially if a man like you is continuously developing, reading books, in the gym, making sure he's on his shit, chasing money, building a business, whatever it may be. They're going to put on their best face to keep you coming, to string you along, whatever. And you don't want to get caught slipping by that. You need to understand that there's going to be a lot of discernment that still needs to partake when you're talking to any woman, especially if you're a man on self-development. So like my whole kind of point here is that you get a glimpse of what you're working so hard for, and then you end up losing focus, right? You end up losing focus. You're not making as much calls that you need to make. You're not doing what you need to be doing to make sure you're upping your skill level, upping your business, or whatever it may be, because there's a woman in front of you, there's a beautiful face. So don't let the universe achievement tease you, and kind of just learn how to stay locked in, especially when you do get a glimpse, because it's just a glimpse. It's not reality. It's just the beginning part. So stay locked in when that pretty face comes in, or whatever glimpse of that achievement may be. So you're able to test drive one of the cars that you really want to buy, or you see one of the cars you really want to buy, your homie buys one of those cars. Don't get distracted by that little glimpse, because it's not your reality yet. It may be in your reality, in your vicinity, but it's not your reality. It's not within grasp. It's within sight. And when things are within sight and they're not within grasp, we tend to get excited, and it throws us off of our tracks. So we need to understand how to continuously stay locked in when our goals are in sight. So that's one thing that I've kind of learned. Fell off of the tracks because of a woman, and I'm never going to let it happen again. And I'm never going to, get caught slipping in other ways, especially because that was a woman who was beautiful face and everything, but part of me, I've done it before, I've talked about it before, I ended up compromising on a lot of my standards too as a man, bro, for the potential sexual access that I would have gotten, for the potential validation I would have gotten for pulling such a beautiful face, right? Compromising on certain things the woman does in her spare time, the way she hangs out with her friends, talks about her friends, the way she treats you, the way she talks about her future, and just a lot of different things that you don't want to compromise on. And it's hard. I'm telling you, like everybody, like I've talked about before, bro, it's easy to have standards behind the keyboard. It's easy to have standards in third person, but by the time that you're getting the attention from a woman and some of those standards aren't being met, it's easy to compromise. And that's what actually makes a man, right? I've listened to a podcast before, is that every male needs sex, but not every man does, right? So if you're able to be someone who can put their sexual desires behind them and focus on what the fuck you're actually seeing in your reality, what the fuck you're actually touching in your reality, then you're actually maturing as a man. So stay focused and don't let the universe achievement tease you, okay? And tying into that is, I guess, I just kind of wanted to reflect on my past and just kind of let you guys know that I understand. If any of you guys are going through, kind of the feeling of not necessarily wanting to be here, I completely get it. I completely understand, and I continue to go through that phase day after day, week after week. And I'm not talking about suicide or wanting to end your life or anything like that, but just kind of the desire to not be alive. Everything in this world and all the intricate little designs of every mechanical component and the stars in the world, the balancing, the astronomy, the philosophy of life, and just the way everything works. It overwhelms you sometimes, and it scares you. So sometimes it's like, bro, like, this is just a little bit too much, this life shit. The fact that I'm walking right now, the fact that I'm breathing, it's a little bit too much, and I just don't really want to experience it anymore. Because I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what tomorrow holds, and I don't know what tomorrow holds for the people I love. And I completely understand that feeling. And the only reason you do feel that way is, one, you haven't consumed enough knowledge. You haven't had the time to experience, to understand what you're experiencing. And that's how I was feeling when I was 16, and my little brother kind of feeling this way right now as well. And you need to consume knowledge and information to be able to grasp reality itself, and then you're going to be able to get rid of that existential crisis. Right. And then on top of that, you're going to want to stop living so much in the future. And nothing's going to get easier when you're 18, 19, 20 and you have the freedom and the money that you want. It's going to get even worse, because now you have the freedom and the money that you want. Now you have the time and the decisions. You have infinite decisions. You have so many more decisions that you can make with your life. So it's going to get worse. So if you don't understand if you don't learn how to control your existential discernment now, by the time you're 20, 21, 22, you're going to be like those people that are stuck in the clubs and drinking. And the people that are still stuck in the clubs drinking and doing nothing with their lives, mid-20s to 30s, they didn't even grasp reality. Or, on the other hand, they grasped reality a little bit too far, to the point they needed to distract themselves continuously for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it may be. But you don't want to be that individual. You want to be the person who actually understands reality to its full extent and continues to grind forward. Does that make sense? And the last thing I'll kind of cover on today is just the power of proximity, right? Whether you're in your work environment, you're at school, or you're just living in the world, or you're at work or you're at school, the people you hang around is 100% key. And it might sound cliche, but especially if you're around people who are older than you and some people that you look up to. This is especially for young people, my age especially, because I'm young as well, and I've realized how naive I am to certain things that happen in my day-to-day life. And I'm like, damn, I'm still a damn baby. And I'm probably going to feel that way until I'm 50. You probably might feel that way as well. But who you are around, especially when you're young, is the biggest thing, because you're going to naturally try to find people to look up to, because like I said before, you're trying to understand this world. You're trying to grasp reality itself. So if you're around individuals who have grasped reality to a higher degree than you have, you're going to naturally be inclined to reciprocate their behavior. So as you're trying to reciprocate their behavior, you're going to emulate their sayings, the way they say it, the way they process the world, and the way they discern things as well. With that being said, you're going to become another version of that person, but now with a little bit of your life experiences, right? It may sound basic. Yeah, exactly. We get it. You become who you're around, but you become who you're around. That's not something to take lightly. You become who you're around. And honestly, it doesn't have to be for that long, bro. You could be around someone for 2 hours a day, not even really talk to them, but subconsciously we process around over 400 different things, but consciously we can only process about 6 or 7. So subconsciously, yeah, you're processing how your brain works, your heart's pumping, the blood vessels in your brain and how they're moving and doing all this intricate shit that we can't even comprehend. But on the other hand, there's people in my house right now. Subconsciously, I'm thinking about what they're all doing. If they're okay, are they all breathing, where they're all sitting, and what they're all doing. So while you're at school or while you're at work, subconsciously, the guy in the desk next to you, his energy is something your subconscious brain is picking up, and now you're learn to govern yourself in that manner as well. The way that he's thinking and the way that he's reacting to situations is processing in your subconscious brain as well. So then now you start to govern yourself in that manner as well and process things in that exact same way too. The kid you're sitting at beside in school, the way he's writing the pace that he's writing on his pencil, the way he's taking his tests, you're doing the exact same thing as well, but subconsciously. Obviously, big government and corporate organizations understand this, so they position people accordingly, but it's something that you have to leverage to your own advantage. You have to leverage your own human nature. So the fact that your subconscious brain is focusing on so many things that you're not even aware of, you have to think deeply about who your subconscious brain is around and what your subconscious brain is around as well, because it's picking up on every single intricate thing. So proximity is power to more than to a higher degree than your most 5 people you hang around. That's surface level. Everybody understands that, but subconsciously you are what you're around and who you are around and what you consume and how they consume it and so on and so forth. So to cover up all this whole video, I just want you to understand that don't let the universe achievement tease you. And if it does, learn how to acknowledge what's in sight, and whatever goal that you see in sight, acknowledge it. And if it hasn't came to your reality yet, stay focused, stay locked in. Because if you don't, then it's going to get further and further away. So now my bank account is further and further away from what I wanted because I allowed myself to get teased. I gave in to the teasing, bro, and you don't want that same thing to happen to you. Secondly, you want to not get caught slipping by a beautiful face. Don't compromise on any of your standards as a man. Keep it pushing, bro, and make sure you discern who that individual is, because you, right now watching this video, are somebody who's more mature than most people your age, and you can attract people of so-called high value. People will put on their best face to earn your respect and to earn your attention. So make sure that you understand that. And the last thing that I'll say is it's okay to feel like you don't want to be here. But in order to get rid of that feeling, understand what's here, because that's what's giving you the feeling of not wanting to be here. And proximity is power. I hope all that makes sense. You guys have a great week. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, comment down below what you've been learning for the past couple of months and how it can benefit me. And I hope you guys have a great day. Love you. Start off tomorrow strong, G. Peace.